Hello and welcome back to another Noodle Art video. Today we're going to do the cutting and the assembly of this mountainscape piece. I hope you enjoy. Sit back and relax. We're going to start by removing the masking from this sheet of acrylic. If you gently roll it, you'll be able to easily remove the masking from the sheet. Now we're going to take our dual tight sheet and a squeegee and gently push it down bit by bit until the full sheet is down and there's no bubbles underneath. And then we're going to take the X-Acto knife and just gently remove any of the excess. This will help it from stopping it from burning. I left this next shot in because it just shows how frustrating it is to remove masking sometimes. And if this happens to you, the easiest thing to do is just add a little bit of heat, and it usually helps to remove the masking. I'm just going to sit and gently pull it off piece by piece as it's coming off in large chunks. Now we're going to lay out the design so that it's easier for laser cutting. I'm going to separate everything into a separate portion so that I know what color each goes with. We're now going to duplicate the black frame layer as we are going to remove it from compound vector and split it up into the individual inlay pieces. Now for the mountain portion, we're going to split it into 3 different colors. I am just going to do this in a random array, but I am going to make it so that the dove gray gets most of the color, as that's what I want the mountain to mostly be. Now that my design is split up, we're going to bring the first piece to a new page. And we're going to cut this out using my settings for thick acrylic. When running acrylic, one of the main things that you need to watch for is flames and flashback from any residue that might be on your cutting surface, like your honeycomb or slats. Unfortunately, with acrylic, you really should keep an eye on your machine extra, just as it is a flammable material. I like to leave the masking on the top of my sheets as I'm working, as it keeps it from getting a lot of the flashback from the laser, as well as any scratches or fingerprints just from regular handling. We're going to cut the inlay portion of the dove gray now. I'm going to use the Smart Nesting tool in order to make this use up a lot less space on my sheet. When doing any inlay type work, make sure that you compensate for your kerf accordingly. It will depend on a lot of different factors, and knowing your kerf for your specific machine and material, as well as the size of the pieces that you're working with, will all determine what your kerf is. Use a couple pieces of masking tape to hold down your pieces before lifting the sheet off of the bed. This helps to keep everything together. Using a really good pair of tweezers is going to help you to remove the masking without scratching your piece. If you use the wrong type of tweezers, you will scratch the acrylic. I'm now going to tape this piece down so that it's nice and straight on my work desk as I work on building the inlay. First down is the black frame layer, and this is going to go on the inside part of my score line. Once this piece is nice and even, make sure to press it down really well. And then what we're going to do is pop in all of the inlay portions of this piece. One of the tricks and tips that I've found is by turning the sheet upside down and poking the tweezers through the pieces, it'll press down for the most part onto the masking tape and not move the pieces off of it. In this case, it doesn't matter too much as all the pieces are not in the right order, but in other cases, it really helps to keep everything aligned. My secret power is using Gorilla double-sided tape for removing masking in inlay pieces. It doesn't work as well on these larger pieces as you end up just not having a big enough piece of tape to grab a hold of everything, but you can use it in smaller portions, and I'm going to use it alongside some really good tweezers to remove the rest of the masking. If you do need to clean your piece, use a microfiber cloth and it will not scratch your piece up. I'm going to gently place this tree layer over top of everything so that it's nice and lined up evenly. Off camera, I actually added a walnut frame around the entire outline. I just felt like it needed something extra to make it pop, and I absolutely love how this piece came together. Thanks for watching part 2 of my series on making this beautiful piece. Have a good day.